Hello, Truth Seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, the spiritual path we are aligned with, supposed to help us see the absolute reality, and also gives us the true understanding of the relative reality. The spiritual path is like a thorn. You're holding the thorn and removing all the thorns using one thorn to dissolve all the struggle, pain, drama, fear, conflict from our lives. But that is hardly the scenario, isn't it? Our spiritual alignment has become the act of running away from the reality rather than understanding the reality. Look, when there's a conflict, there's fear within or outside. What's the approach like? How we are handling that? Most of the time, we like to run away from the conflict. We like to deny the issue. And we like to entertain ourselves with something else so we don't have to look why the issue is there in the first place. So we entertain ourselves with anything that entertains the ego, including the spiritual practice has become the space to entertain the ego. If you're not understanding the mind and not working on dissolving the mind in our spiritual space, then that act itself is entertaining the ego. Nowadays, the meditation has become the act of running away from the reality. Something happens in life. There's a conflict. There's a fear, resurfacing. What do? We step away from that situation and we tell ourselves, I need my meditation. I need my quiet moment right now. Thinking that this quiet moment is going to help us, be free from that mental struggle. Yes, you're disengaging from the actual fight on the surface, on the outside. But even you're able to disengage from the functioning reality, you are carrying that fight in the mind. Now, mind itself is creating further narration. Now, the fight is prolonging in the head. So, and if you're not looking into the mind to understand the mind, how can we be free from the mind if you're ignoring the mind? The spiritual freedom is about watching the mind and deconstructing the mind to be free from the mind. That's the approach. But when we are stepping away from the functioning reality, and when we sit in our spiritual space, what are we doing? Just controlling our body and mind, taming with positive vibe, positive affirmation. That is simply the ego fueling journey. Ego loves to be spiritual as well. The ego self, in the first place, the ego self is seeking this spirituality because the ego self is struggling. Because of the struggle, the spiritual journey has started because of the ego self. And now, when we start to do the work the spiritual work, instead of investigating the mind, we be part of the silence practice, being quiet, thinking that that quietness is gonna help us be free from the mind. Momentarily, when you're sitting with silence, yes, momentarily it is helping you. But once you're out of your, that spiritual work, you have to deal with the world again. You have to come back to the world. You have to associate with the world. You have to, you have to come back. When you come back, you will see the people that you had a conflict with. So you're back in the same world. When you see the people, when you see the people, that the things that you're pushing away will resurface right away. The hate, the resentment, the anger will resurface again when you're, back in the world. So if things are resurfacing and the drama continues, that means the spiritual work is not working, isn't it? That should be already the sign that whatever I'm doing is not helping me to handle my reality, the living reality. So that's why sitting in silence, controlling, taming the body and mind, it just hardens the ego act. The ego movement hardens because you see that something is working, isn't it? From that quiet practice, from taming the body and mind, you are able to, minimize something in your life. And from that, you are also seeing some shift. But even you have a, amazing shift in the functioning world. The conflict and the fear is not leaving you. You're not completely free from your mind. Why? Because there's no understanding of the mind approach is going on. It's just taming, it's just controlling, it's just resisting work is going on, rather than accepting the reality as it is. Whatever is there, accepting it and looking at the things, looking at the mind. Why am I getting fluctuated? Why do I resist? Why do I run away? Why do I fight? We don't do that in the spiritual work most of the time. Not everybody, but majority of the world is just running away from the functioning reality. The functioning reality actually is the message to understand the mind. When things are messy, there is a fluctuation, there's a struggle, there's a pain. The emotional fluctuation is there, the mental fluctuation is there. From there, the further things happens. Now, our functioning reality is a signpost to figure out why the struggle, why the pain, why the fear is there in the first place. When the sign is coming, to help us to figure out the truth, we just deny that part. And when the fear comes in, instead of looking into the fear, why am I afraid? People love to create a shield. People love to strengthen their self with disciplining the body and mind to overcome the fear. But even you strengthen your body and mind to overcome the fear, now you're from that work, there's the next level of fear you're already invited. So no matter how much you push to overcome certain fear, there's always the next fear of something will always be there. Same for the other struggle. always there will be a next struggle, next conflict, next drama. So, if you see this, there's a next level of, fear, conflict arising. That also shows that whatever you're doing right now is not helping you. The real path, the real spiritual path, when you be part of it, it will help you move backward to understand your struggle, understand your fear, and takes you to the root of the conflict. And also stepping back on the conflict, tracing back on the conflict, the root cause of the conflict, and going back all the way and dissolving the conflict. It's the real spirituality is not about adding something. It's about taking out everything so we can go back all the way towards the plain sight, truth. It's like, again, using the thorn. The spiritual practice is like holding the thorn and using that thorn to remove all the thorns from the life. That means removing all the pain, suffering, fear, conflict, drama from our lives. But that's not the scenario. Our spiritual practice right now is, not removing, it's adding to overcome the fear, to overcome the struggle. But the adding is a seal, is a protection. When you add something, now if it's working, now you have another fear that I don't want to lose this, which is making me, create that boundary, create that comfort, create that seal, create that protection. That shows that, it's the life that is happening from the place of fear. So, again, it's not about adding stuff. It's not about, adding the upgraded ideas in your mind to be free. Accumulation is not the way to be freedom. Decluttering, letting things go from the life, letting the mind go is the way to be free. So, if it's not working, now how to make it work is, investigate your mind and trace your mind backward. Whatever things not right in your life, you can use that and trace it back. Why am I triggered by things? Why do I fluctuate? Why am I struggling? You are struggling, you have fear, you have conflict, you have hate, you have all the stuff. All the stuff comes in your life, takes your peace away, takes your inner peace away. Look into those things, trace it back. Why? Why do I experience this or that? That's a simple way to, take out all the layers, from oneself, to see the, absolute reality. And when you are tracing back the mind work, if you're new, you lose the flow right away. But first, because you're not used to it. When you're not used to it, it's hard to maintain the flow, maintain the inward journey. And that, that disconnection with the practice is coming from the place of long-term conditioning. your previous conditioning on the spiritual path, or any conditioning. If you're not able to sustain the inward journey tracing the mind work, that is coming from the place of your long-term conditioning, the body and mind conditioning. And when the conditioning breaks the inward flow, it's easy to jump into our previous spiritual practice, which is, sitting in that quiet space, quieting yourself, or controlling the body and mind with, visualization, with the mantra, with technique, with affirmation. Again, yes, it works when you're there, but even when you're there, you're controlling. There's so much effort going on, and when you're done with your little freedom work, you have to face the world, you have to face the people, and it's easy to lose what you're trying to gain from your practice. So the healthy way to be part of the spiritual practice is being part of the self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is about understanding your mind. Understanding your mind means understanding yourself, your past, your present, also your, future imagination. You'll understand, you understand your mind, and from that, it will help you to let go the unnecessary mind in the beginning, and you will be part of the subtractive work, deconstructive work of the mind, and that will help you to be free from the mind. And a real journey, real spiritual path is about dissolving the mind. So think about it. If your process is not working, then try the inquiry practice and see what happens. Okay, I hope this video makes sense, and keep tracing your mind backward. If you have been following me, keep going. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video. Take care for now.